evening, everybody, and welcome to the penultimate round of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship. Coming to you live from Bathurst for round 9 of the series here. Tonight's race is going to be a doozy, as Bathurst, not only is Bathurst difficult on its own in the day, but tonight's race is going to be a night race. So these guys, just when they thought the pain was over with at Macau, it just gets even more daunting, as this track is quite the challenge for everyone involved here tonight. But before we go any further into tonight's broadcast, let me welcome my partner here tonight, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, great to be here, Al. All I can say is what a fantastic night this is going to be here at Mount Panorama. Woohoo! I'm ready to go.
We got a packed house here tonight, about 40 drivers in the server right now. Currently, Tiago Canola leading the way in practice with an 0.51. So Tiago quickly getting back on pace here. I think he is actually in the Lambo tonight, subbing for, actually not quite sure who, but he's subbing for somebody. And Alex White currently second, and Gooden currently running in third. Brad, this is a great circuit. I know you really like running here. You mentioned that you wish you had the opportunity to race tonight. What are your thoughts about this track?
My thoughts are actually that it's going to be a great race around here. Looking at some of the practice times over the course of the week, the times did seem to be extremely tight, which is, I would have to say, a little rare at a track that produces lap times around the 2-minute 6-second mark. So, but I think the times are going to be very tight. I think the guys, like last week, they showed at Macau, they know that it's going to be a tough test. They're going to keep it on track, and that's going to lead to a lot of great racing. Now, if we do have some mid-pack fracas or some other contact that happens out there, of course the field will get split up. But I think these guys are really chuffed here to get on with some racing, some close racing, and over the course of the whole event. So I'm looking forward to a great time.
Chuffed. That's a new word for you on NAGP TV. I like it. Now let's take a quick look at the track map here tonight for Bathurst. As you can see, 23 corners. After turn 3, it really gets interesting as these guys make the run up the hill through the S's and then back down the hill. That long, it's known as the Conquer Straight, through the Chase, and it's just an unbelievable track. A great track to participate in. But Brad was kind enough to put together a hot lap for us here at Bathurst, and let's ride along with Brad in the Moser.
Crossing the line here at Mount Panorama, we're faced first with a left-hand corner coming up here, hill corner as it's called, a straightforward left-hander. Got to watch for contact there. Late braking zone, so contact is always a possibility. And coming up this very long front straight, mountain straight as it's called, into a very tricky right-hand corner here as we take the Mosler around this place. So slow in, fast out on this corner, get down to the apex and get on the throttle quick. Lots of grip there, both on the front end on entry and on the rear coming off. Coming up here to turns 3 and 4. Want to be on the brakes, actually, kind of coming through that, the first part of that left-hander, at least off the throttle, real rhythm section coming up here. Front grip going to be at a premium around these corners here. Got to make sure you don't use any brake through these corners. Want to set them up and just take them kind of rolling through on entry and then on the throttle on exit. Tricky entry coming up here. Coming up to Skyline, where this can make or break your entire race or your lap here. Coming into that very tricky braking zone through the S's here. Get on these corners. You can be on the throttle really early on some of these corners as there is quite a bit of grip. However, coming up here through the right-hander and into the Dippa, you do have to make sure that you get it woed up in plenty of time. More on the throttle than late braking in, though there are some late braking opportunities to take advantage of around here. Coming onto this very long back straight here. Going to be a lot of opportunities to overtake, of course, and the power car is going to have a real edge around this place. Coming in and through the chase now. Very difficult braking point and entry, of course, after that high-speed blast. Coming into Murray's corner now, last corner, another straightforward left-hand corner, but again, always seems to tighten up a little bit more than you'd like it to. Grip at a premium, and that is your lap at Bathurst.
Oh, great job, Brad, as we move to qualifying, and wouldn't you know it, it is wet and raining. And wow, these guys are going to be in for a world of hurt tonight.
Yeah, it could be the great equalizer around here tonight. We'll see how many guys manage to get in laps even over the course of our 25-minute qualifying period. There might be a couple guys that had a little difficulty even getting a lap in, but it could be the great equalizer around here tonight. As usual, we'll probably see the cream rise to the top, but you never know. We could have a few surprises out there.
Well, one thing you mentioned before we talked about your hot lap, your onboard here at Bathurst, is potential incidents at the start of tonight's race. You know, we gotta really give the guys a lot of credit last week at Macau. Very clean opening lap, and this guys showed a lot of patience last week, and it was great to see. So, you know, just a track like that, just when you expect the worst, you're surprised. So, big congratulations to the guys for keeping it clean. So, no qual penalties this week. So, that's always a good thing.
It was a good start, Alan. You know what? It came down to just being super over defensive on the start. Really understanding the nature of the track and the possible death that was involved. It really went overboard on trying not to make contact. But you know what, Al? That's exactly what needs to happen on every start of every race. Okay, so hopefully what the guys took away from that was that, well, okay, over caution is really the way to go about it. And once it got settled in, we got down to some great racing, which is exactly the way it should be. So, good stuff.
So right along with Tiago Canola in the Lambo. Looks like he's going to be the first to act here tonight in these wet conditions. Which car do you think is going to have the advantage here in qualifying, Brad? I know Wyatt Gooden in that BMW, last week's winner at Macau, a race where we expected rain, and it was very hot and dry for the entire duration. So he's in that Dunlop BMW. Dunlop's a good tire in the wet.
You know what? I think that would be that'd be a great pick. Certainly, Wyatt's going to have a nice advantage on those tires. But you know what? Alex White performs pretty darn well in the wet in qualifying. Although we have seen him struggle in the past in wet conditions during the race, he's been very good in qualifying. That BMW also will get around very well in the wet too. So Alex White could be looking pretty good. Tiago Canola also we saw him a couple seasons ago, not actually the best performer in the wet, strangely enough, but Tiago is one of those guys, one of those fast guys who is not carrying weight tonight. But you got to look out for some of the veterans and experience, and Chris Moses, Aaron Parsons, and some of those guys as well could step up to make this exciting.
Yeah, as we watch Canola, you know, not a perfect lap. Had a little contact with some of the barriers, but still looks like he's putting in a decent run here. As he goes through the chase, just a reminder, tonight's race is at night, so these guys are really up for a huge challenge tonight. Not only is it a night race, but they have a wet qualifying session as Tiago moves to P3. Alex White jumps the provisional pole with a 2:12.2. Preto clocks in at P2 with a 2:13.4. So those guys showing pretty good pace early on. Laurent Vassman. Laurent finally coming showing some form here in qualifying, currently in P4. He just dropped down to P5, but I know this is the track Laurent likes, so let's see how he does here. Another guy we're going to have to keep an eye on is Salem Montgomery Jr. Salem on a hot lap right now, but prior to season 21, we had a fun race that was dominated by Salem at this track, so look for Salem to do well tonight.
Yeah, and Salem is showing great pace in practice as well, so I think that he definitely will have a good shot here, and the more practice you get around here, the better it's going to serve you, particularly in these types of conditions, to be able to feel your way around a little bit. But you know, grip is at a premium on some of these corners, and they are not going to be helped. I'm watching White Gooden now come up to turn 2, and there's a few very tricky corners around this place that when wet, they're really easy loss of grip.
It's one of the Moslers in a lot of shape, right ahead of Montgomery. Let's see how Montgomery is here in this second split coming up. He's behind just under a second. Does have some traffic up ahead. So take a quick glance at the leaderboard. Aaron Parsons jumped up to P2 with the 2:13.3. So the top 3 guys in qualifying at the moment, all carrying weight. Rato carrying the most of them all. He's carrying 70 kilograms tonight. White with 50, Parsons with 40, and Wyatt Gooden with 60.
Yeah, Aaron Parsons with 40 kilos. It's almost like nothing compared to some of the guys around him out there. And that's exactly what I was talking about with the experience of Aaron Parsons and getting through these types of conditions.
Nice to see Seth Waugh here tonight. He's clocked in at P6. Mikey Monahan is another car that should do well here in the wet. This Dunlop shod Jag as Mikey about to cross the finish line. Wish Mikey a happy birthday. And Mikey to P2. So a great qualifying run for Mike early on. So Mikey's celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday to him.
Yeah, indeed. Happy birthday, Mike Monahan. And, you know, most of the field has gotten some timed laps in now. So we're starting to establish some type of baseline here for the kind of times we should be able to see moving forward. Alex White still at the top with that 2:12.2.
Taking a look further down, Jaime Moore currently in the 11th position in the Jag. I'm sorry, the Porsche.
Boy, what a test for these guys going out early in these types of conditions on this track. I suspect that once they get a couple laps, a lap or two under their belt, that they'll start to become a little bit more comfortable, but it's definitely a feeling out process for these guys.
So Jaime about a second off at Sector 1. Looks like he's having a difficult time here in the wet. Taking a look further back, Monroy currently P12. Marty Uran, he's on an outlap. Mike Trussell currently 14th. Palacio, he's about to complete a lap here. Palacio should run well here. Let's see where he clocks in at. 13th.
Yeah, quickly, looking at the sector times, I can tell you that Alex White has one whole full second there on the field in Sector 1, and that ends up being his the time that he has that provisional pole on at the moment. So Alex White getting it done in Sector 1.
As Canola jumps up to P2, so Canola responds. Mikey's still sitting in 3rd. Let's keep looking back here. Felipe Triana in 16th. Not a bad first. Ooh, heavy into the wall. Not a bad first split there for Triana, but I think that hit might hurt him a little bit, but we'll see. Ooh. Managed to get through there okay, but that was a little dicey for Triana. So Triana just over a second off the pace. Looking back, Ryan Mayfield, currently 18th. He's about to complete a lap here. Let's see where Ryan ends up. Ryan.
And of course, Ryan.
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, of course, Ryan Mayfield, newcomer, along with Wyatt Gooden here tonight. Wyatt Gooden just turned in the 9th best time currently with a 2:14.3.
Mayfield jumps up to the 6th position, so good run from Mayfield. Mayfield he disconnected at the start of the race last week at Macau, so he didn't get a chance to run. So I think tonight's going to be his first full run here with us.
Sure nice to have Ryan.
So looking further back, Chris Moses, currently in the 19th position. And he's off big time in Sector 2. He's actually dropped down to 20th. So Moses struggling here early in qualifying.
It's a reasonable bet, Al, that almost none of these guys, or very few of them, have taken some rain lap practice around this place. So it's kind of a mystery, I think, to everybody, except for a few. The guys at the top are obviously getting it figured out. Ian Jolicoeur has clocked in with the 2nd best time now, Al, at a 2:12.5.
So Jolicoeur back in the fold here. Put together a nice run. So Jolicoeur, no slouch. As Moses moves up to 14th. David Rowley currently 15th. Schubeck now up to P17, so Schubeck getting his stuff together here in the wet. Christian Hamilton's running in 19th. Palacio in 20th, so Palacio's struggling. Rodrigo Triana 21st. Mike Trussler has dipped down at 22nd. John Houston back in 23rd. I want to thank John, who's been filling in for Jack Ivey on Thursday. Jack's been out of town. So John doing an admirable job, a great job actually, on Thursday night. So we thank him for that, as well as Ken Rodriguez. Now we lost somebody. Mike Greatrix 24th. Dan Wilkerson's running back at 25th. Ooh, is one of the Astons heavy into the wall. Marco Connie, 26. I suspect Marco should jump up here. John Watkinson, 27th. Johnny Lugnut's running back in 28th. Surprised to see Johnny this far back. He's usually really good in the wet. I'm sure Johnny will get it together. Brian Story, 29th. Cuppet running in 30th. Scott Andrew, 31st. Matt Taylor in the Jag, 32nd. Phil Hooks, 33rd. Speaking of Ken, he's running back in 34th. Gup Douglas, 35th. A lot of traffic out there. Kevin Miller, 36th. A little surprised to see Kevin. I know you've been working with Kevin on the side here, Brad, and looks like he's yet to put a lap together. But Kevin should come to form soon. Greg Myers, 37th. Kreshnik Khalili, 38th. Chris Jackson in 39th. I know we lost somebody, not sure who, but back up front, Alex White exiting the pit lane. He's currently leading the way here.
He is leading the way, but now he's leading the way with a 2-minute 11-second lap, Al. Marty Urin has clocked in with another 2-minute 11-second lap to run 2nd.
Let's take a look at last week's winner, Wyatt Gooden, back in 13th, so looks like Wyatt struggling a bit here in the wet. He is really showing some great pace and practice.
Yeah, he's got 2 timed laps in, and his best so far is the one you see at that 14.3. I think the track is drying out, Al. The rain is still coming down, but I think it has come down. It's come down a little less. The track, the temperature, ambient temperature, has gone up slightly, and I suspect that we will get a little bit more drying out there by the end of the qualifying session. Only 10 minutes to go, Al.
So Wyatt off about 5/10 in Sector 1. Let's see if he can make that up in the middle part of this track.
Yeah, and as we watch that progress, those guys have gotten closer to Alex White's first sector time. Now they're only missing it in the second.
Ooh, big slide by Wyatt. Does a good job reeling that back in. Ooh, he has actually picked up a little bit of time, I think, there in the middle part of this track. So as he approaches the chase, Wyatt's looking pretty good here. He's looking at a top 5 at the moment.
He might get this figured out just in time.
It's a quick note. Last time we raced here at Bathurst was back on June of 2012, June 18th. Tiago Canola won that race. Nick Johnston took pole. Tiago with a late stop in the Porsche as Wyatt jumps up to P3. So Wyatt with a 2:12.2. Alex White and Marty. He started his hot lap, so let's follow Marty along for a minute. But Tiago, I remember that race quite well, as Tiago pitted, I think, with one or two laps to go. Fuel only.
It was an extremely late stop. Yeah, it was an extremely late stop. He did that a lot that particular season, employing that pit strategy, and it certainly worked at Bathurst very well.
Be interested to see.
Nick Johnson had great pace.
He certainly did in the Panos. I'd be interested to see, as Marty's behind about half a second in Sector 1. I'd be interested to see if anybody uses that tactic, that approach here tonight.
Yeah, it might be a little bit more difficult, and I tell you, there's not a lot of guys that can make it work as well as Tiago can make it work with his stunning consistency that he showed over the course of that season, and in a car really that was well suited to that strategy as well.
So as Marty approaches the second split, it's a really nice lap put in by Marty. Oh, Marty, he's a little bit of time. He's off 7/10 here in the second sector. Alex White, let's see if he improves at all. He's just behind Marty on track. And he does. Ooh, he's up over a half a second there in the second split.
Yeah, I think the track is drying up. The question is, as you go out on these changing conditions, perhaps it's drying up a little bit. Well, just how much do you push? I mean, that's the question when you simply don't know. And on these lap times that take so long, you got to try to balance that aggression with caution to make sure you do get a lap in.
No improvement for Marty.
Yeah, looking through timing and scoring, Juan Monroy now has provisionally gone to the 5th place here with a 2:12.4. So Juan Monroy looking good. Aaron Parsons now in the 7th position.
So White jumps up, improves to a 2:10.8. Trying to pick up somebody on a hot lap here out front. White is still going here. Let's see if we can pick somebody else up. Parsons.
Yeah, quickly. Alex White just crushing the field there. And yeah, Alex White just crushing the field there in Sector 2. He's got that one really figured out through the S's. So
So White in the Z4 as he approaches the first split, trying to improve on his already provisional pole time. Behind a little bit there in the first sector. He's got some traffic up ahead. Looks like that's either Hamilton or Phil Hooks up ahead on track.
Certainly, and it's getting to be about time, Al, with 5.5 left to go here, when these guys are going to start thinking about when they want to go out to get their last timed lap in. So sometime within the next 30 or 45 seconds, they're going to want to be out on track to get the last opportunity in the best conditions.
So White got by that Z4 without any trouble. Oh, does not improve. Behind about 3/10 there in the second split.
Well, being behind 3/10 is actually pretty good at this stage.
Track remains wet. But as you mentioned, not raining as hard as it was, so these lap times we should see some improvement here late.
Yeah, the track has not been classified as damp yet. It still shows as wet, but I suspect that it is drying slightly. We're seeing a lot more times there in that 212 range.
So no improvement for White. And we pick up Wyatt Gooden on a hot lap.
Yeah, and this guy's going to be scary. They want to hold this guy off. They're going to have to try to get him further back in the field because the guy's been unstoppable in his first couple starts here.
Ooh, good, way off there in the second split, so he must have had some traffic issues.
He is off, but you know what? Oh, he is slowed down. You know what? That was good. Oh, okay. That was certainly going to improve his time. I'm not sure I would have scrubbed that lap off, Al. Wyatt Gooden, he is not going to get another lap in. That would certainly have improved his time had he been able to hold that pace. So Wyatt Gooden done with a 2:12.2.
As we pick up Ian Jolicoeur here with just over 3 minutes to go in qualifying. Jolicoeur off 9/10 there in the first sector.
Oh boy, Wyatt Gooden has jumped back out of the pits, but with 3 minutes to go here, getting around this place twice, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, he might not have had enough fuel to get to do another lap, so maybe that's why he brought it in. But ooh, big slide from Jolicoeur.
Just looking through timing and scoring real quick. Chris Moses has jumped up into the seventh. Yeah, jumped up into the 7th spot, but he's off track now, so that's going to be, he's going to do no better than 7th.
On board with Marty as we pick him up on the back straight.
I see Marty Urin has lowered his second sector time a bit. He will certainly have pace on Alex White in the 3rd sector, but boy, I just can't see it being enough.
Marty approaching the line. No improvement. White does not improve.
Yeah, Tiago Canola now 1/2 second off of Alex White's pace through the 1st sector.
So Canola on pace to move up maybe 1 or 2 spots. He could find himself in 2nd here, depending on this middle portion. That Lambo's going to be quick down the straight. Let's see where he is here in the 2nd sector. Ooh, lost a little bit of time.
You know what? That really wasn't too bad, though, given Alex White's staggering 2nd sector time. Really, to only lose a couple tenths through that sector is pretty good. And I suspect Tiago Canola will have much better pace if it turns dry. So a good starting position for Tiago could pay big benefits over the course of the race.
Canola approaching the final corner here at Bathurst. Let's see where he ends up. Ooh, the 2nd. He gets it done. He's going to be on the front row. Marty's parked it. Wyatt, I don't think he's going to have time to get this lap in. He's just getting out of that turn 3 complex as the clock's winding down. Yeah, he's way off the pace as it is. Montgomery Jr. I don't think he's going to get it in. Joe LaCour, however, well,
Andres Prieto has gone to provisionally to 4th, Al, with a 2:11.9.
ooh, we missed that. Sorry, but Prado with a great lap here to finish this qualifying session. Let's see if Montgomery will be able to get this one in. I don't know. It's going to be tight. Currently in the 7th position.
I think Salem will get his lap in.
See where he's going to be. He got it in, but doesn't improve. And that's going to do it. As Alex White secures pole.
Yeah, some fireworks late. Our back-to-back winner there, and Wyatt Gooden, his 2 starts, is going to slot in 5th. Juan Monroy right behind him. So a good start there. And, of course, Andres Prieto with that great late run to get into the 2:11 mark and 4th on the grid.
Wow, so big surprise so far. Aaron Parsons back in 10th, last winner at Estoril a couple races ago. This is his home track. Aaron Parsons, native of Australia.
You know, we've said it before. We saw him have great success in the Audi those couple 3 seasons ago, and we haven't had a chance to ask him, and maybe I'll do that next opportunity I have of if there's been maybe some type of difference with this. Look, he has had, I mentioned it last week, the guy's got like 3 wins, okay, great, but for some reason we don't see him up there in the points, and have seen him off the pace as well as very well on the pace and winning. So inconsistencies for Aaron Parsons this year in that Audi.
Well, let's see if we can have a quick chat here with Salem. Salem, it's Al and Brad in the broadcast booth. Do you copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Salem, nice qualifying session there in the wet. How did the McLaren feel around this complicated Bathurst circuit?
It was a little slippery. I had done some wet testing, but quite hadn't locked it in, so I was trying some things during that session. And the hardest thing was just getting open track. I kept getting stuck behind a couple of guys. But overall, the track is not that bad if you don't try to push it.
Well, you had some...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Brett.
No, I was just going to say, you did put in a good lap there, Salem. It looks like there's a couple, 3-4 guys just 1/10 off of your qualifying pace there, but just ahead of you, 2 more tenths, you probably could have slipped there into 5th. Was it a pretty good lap, or did you miss a couple tenths out there, do you think?
Oh, I definitely had about another half a second to a second into the car. It was just inopportune, that's all.
Well, Salem, you had great success here in the fun race we had before season 21. You dominated that race. How do you think you're going to shape up here going into the race tonight here?
Well, if it's pretty clean start, I have a pretty good strategy. I'm running pretty fast. I think Tiago and I are doing in the 205 range. The other guys are carrying weight, so they're going to struggle with fuel and tires overall if it's a dry session. But if it's rain again, it's anybody's game really, because I don't think anyone has really strategized that.
Well, good luck, Salem, and we're rooting for you tonight.
Appreciate it, thanks. Shout out to my teammate, Dave.
All right. Shout out to Dave. Good luck. All right, we just moved over to the warm-up session. Let's take a quick rundown of the point standings going into tonight. Alex White leading Andres Prieto by 15 points. Parsons 150 to 135. Parsons in third with 126 points. Not out of it yet, but a long shot. So, well, actually 16 points now that White got pole. He's got that extra bonus point. So, it's going to be tough for Prieto starting in fourth with White on pole. He's going to be you know, hoping for some good luck to go his way if he's going to want to close that gap before Spa next week. And in the team championship, Team Columbia, Monroy and Preto leading the way by a pretty hefty margin, 213 to 186 over WWRL7. That's David Rowley and Alex White. T-Brock Dam Bam GT2 in third with 170. Not out of the realm of possibilities. Should Team Columbia struggle tonight, you might see one of these other two teams take advantage of that and kind of close that gap. But as you always say, Brad, that team championship always fluctuates pretty dramatically race after race.
Yeah, right now, T-Brock Dam Bam, you have to say, is a little bit behind the action here with teammate Aaron Parsons, John Houston, qualifying only in the 19th position. So John Houston putting in some fine runs of late. However, a little further back down the grid than he would like tonight, to be tonight, rather.
Well, we should mention this race tonight should go, if it's dry, it'll be a 25 lap race. It should end on laps. However, if it does go wet, it may go the distance. So the last race here ended on laps, 53 minutes 58 seconds.
Yeah, there's not an overwhelming chance for rain at this track, so you can expect it to be dry. Doesn't mean it will be, of course, but there's a better chance for dry than there is wet. And I think that these guys would like to see the dry conditions. And I'll be honest with you, I think I would prefer to see it as well. I think it's going to shape up to be a pretty good race. Again, we happen to avoid the fracas, which is always a possibility.
Yeah, so we're going to look for guys to start pitting in around lap 12 or 13 perhaps. Some guys may stay out, so it's a big question mark there. You may see White stay out. You know, that might be a strategy he tries to take advantage of here tonight, as we've seen it work in the past here with Tiago Canola with that late stop back in 2012.
Yeah, and it's a strategy Alex White has been employing really all season. He has been, by and large, being one of the late stoppers and has really been able to make it work and really proven me wrong a couple times. And I said he's lasted a little too long this time. So I got to admit that I was wrong, and we'll see. This is a track in that car. Always a danger to put in that late stop, maybe double stint the tires, and could be a good strategy for him tonight with that weight.
Yeah, Canola pitted in on lap 22 last time, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. As warm-up coming to an end here. Well, we got a few minutes. Anybody watching the live stream tonight and care to follow your favorite driver, just go to NorthAmericanGP.com, click on the GT2 live timing button there right at the top tab, click on that, and you can follow your driver on track. And if we're missing some action or you want to focus on somebody else, just let us know, and we'll do our best to cover as much as we can here. So, good tool to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely, and one we employ ourselves to keep abreast of all the information. Now, looking through timing and scoring here, I'll have to say I was looking at the Chow Mein Moto squad of Mike Monahan and Esteban Palacio in that Jaguar. Now, the Jaguar is not going to get through some of these corners too well, but you know what? There's a whole bunch of them that actually will do pretty well through, and then of course it has massive straight line speed, so I'm a little surprised to see Mike Monahan and Esteban Palacio that far back in 13th and 14th. I wonder how their pace may be in the dry relative to the wet. I'll have to keep an eyeball on that.
Yeah, well, it would have been interesting to see Mikey starting up near the front, because that's a great point, because cars like that, well, we've seen that with the Viper Competition Coupe, where, well, when Moses was driving it, not particularly quick down through the twisties, but impossible to pass down the straight. So
Yeah, you know, that Jag actually should be pretty darn good through the S's. To those corners, can't quote them from memory, unfortunately, but the corners to start the second sector there, not so great, but should be very good through the S's and on braking, so I'm a little...
All right, our warm-up session has come to a conclusion. And we're going to move over to the race here momentarily. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. You're watching live coverage of North American Grand Prix GT2 Round 9 from Bathurst. We got a full field here tonight of about 40 guys. As the track starts to light up, Brad, let's take it away here as we run down the starting order here tonight from Bathurst, starting from pole. Alex White, followed by Tiago Canola in second, Marty Uren third, Andres Preto fourth, and Wyatt Gooden starting fifth.
Juan Monroy will start 6th, Salem Montgomery Jr. in 7th, Chris Moses starts 8th, Ian Jolly-Coeur is in 9th, and Aaron Parsons starts 10th.
David Rowley 11th, Mike Monahan 12th, Esteban Palacio 13th, Kevin Miller 14th, and Felipe Triana 15th.
Ryan Mayfield starts 16th, Kevin Savoie starts 17th, Lawrence Weissman starts 18th, John Houston is in 19th, and Thomas Schubeck rounds out the top 20.
Krishna Khalili is 21st, Jaime Moore 22nd, Mike Trussler 23rd, Christian Hamilton 24th, Johnny Lugnut's 25th.
Brian Stories in 26th, Jonathan Cuppett in 27th, Lou Mascarelli starts 28th, Mike Greetrex is in 29th, and Daniel Wilkerson's in 30th.
Greg Myers 31st, Phil Hooks 32nd, John Wath at 33rd, Gup Douglas 34th, and Matt Taylor 35th.
Ken Rodriguez starts 36th, Scott Andrews in 37th, Rodrigo Triana starts 38th, and Chris Jackson is in 39th. You've got 39 starters tonight, Al.
Full house. 30 seconds to go.
Full house indeed.
Track's pretty well lit.
Now, let me tell you what's going to happen here. Tiago Canola is going to have pace on Alex White. Marty Uren is going to be furiously trying to battle and stay with those guys, but Andres Prieto is going to want to get through. So I think these guys are going to get stacked up, and Wyatt Gooden's going to be ready to pounce.
Well, you've really done some analysis. Well, let's see if that comes to fruition here as we're about to go green from Bathurst. Track is dry. And we're away as Wyatt Gooden with a great start splits Uren and Preto to jump up to P3 as Canola with a great hole shot leads the field away as we head into turn 2. I don't think White's going to have the legs to get by Canola at the end of the straight. Douglas wide into the wall. Hamilton with a late start. He's already in the back at 39. Well, it looks like a pretty decent start for the guys so far. As Canola really laying down the law here.
Yeah, don't want to turn any viewers away, Al, but we could have seen the win already there in the first corner. Tiago Canola is going to be tough from this point on, I think.
White starting to close the gap here through the S's on their way downhill. So making our way down the back straight.
Yeah, great pace by Alex White in that second sector, just tremendous.
This is going to be an interesting corner here. A lot of action typically as Marty Uren has managed to get by Wyatt Gooden for that third spot. So Canola hanging on to that spot. Chris Moses moves his way up to P5. So Moses putting some pressure on Gooden. Preto's dropped back down to 6th.
Yeah, big move for Chris Moses. Andres Prieto on the outside looking in.
So pretty decent first lap here for the boys. Monroy up to 7th. Felipe Triana running in 8th. So good start for Felipe. Kevin Miller in the top 10 running in 9th. How much is he paying you, Brad? Because he's doing some great work.
It's nothing I'm doing, Al. He's putting in the practice. He's getting it done.
Joe LaCour running in P10, looking to make the move on Miller. Mayfield, bit of a bobble there, running in 14th. Take a look, Schubeck putting the pressure on Mayfield. He's in the points, running in 15th. Rally.
Yeah, Thomas Schubeck, a great start.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say a great start, just like teammate Chris Moses.
John Houston running in 17th, and Jaime Moore back in 18th. Ooh, these guys using all of the track. Ryan Story's jumped up to 19th. Take a look back out front. That gap's only half a second between Canola and White. I know Canola had some, I don't want to jinx him or nothing, but he had some connection issues last week in GT1 at India, so hopefully he can, he's looking a lot better tonight than he did Thursday night for sure.
Yeah, quick update, Al, talking about that T-Brock Dam Bam team, 3rd in points, and John Houston qualifying 19th, is now up to 14th and in the points.
Mose is going to have a look on Wyatt. Not going to get it done. Wow, he was really up on the bumper of Gooden.
Yeah, those cars should be pretty well matched in terms of straight line speed. Though Wyatt Gooden, of course, with that weight, could give Chris Moses a bit of the advantage. Oh, quick update. Felipe Triana, Kevin Miller, both out with accidents, Al.
Oh, my goodness.
So Kevin Miller's great start comes to an end.
That's a shame. Prieto hanging on to this battle here, currently in the 6th position. But doing a good job. No doubt looking to take advantage of any miscues these guys make. Prieto looks like he's running a pretty calm race so far. Hanging
Boy, it's
back.
some intense action out there. Intense action running bumper to bumper like this at night at Bathurst. This is frenetic stuff, Al.
Joe LaCour, Montgomery Jr., and looks like Mike Monahan in 10th. Joe LaCour's made the move on these guys. He's moved up to 8th, but Joe LaCour's got some damage to the front of his McLaren, and his headlights are out. So that could be an issue for him. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, of course, another issue could be Salem Montgomery Jr. running right behind him in 9th.
That's true, but you know, got to give Mikey Monahan some credit there. He's hanging on to the back of these guys. So Mikey showing some good pace here.
Yeah, Mikey Monahan's looking good. Teammate Esteban Palacio not looking too good though. Now down in 25th. Sorry, Al.
Mayfield's moved up to 11th, and Schubeck hanging on to the back of him in 12th. Great start for Precision Motor Racing. Houston now in the points. He was just out of the points, and wow, just like that, he's up to 13th. Rally, 14th. Jaime Moore's dipped back down to 15th, and Mascarelli into the points now, battling Great Tricks for that final points paying position. On board with these two guys as they run down to the chase. Great Tricks having a look on the outside. Wow, great pass by Mike. Gets it done.
Well, as you watch that battle, I'll give you a quick update over that 4th spot. It's still as intense as ever as Gooden, Moses, and Prieto all battle it out, as Chris Moses actually is now looking to make a move into turn 2.
Just can't get it done.
Yeah, I thought he had it that time for sure. And, you know, Andres Prieto is still well in that mix.
Ooh, Prieto had a look on the inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Right along.
Boy, Juan Monroy.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Juan Monroy sure has been driving well of late as well. And, boy, it'd be nice to see him hold some nice pace and stick with those guys also.
We're on board with Andres Prieto at this battle for fourth. Really tight battle. Moses with a bit of tire spin on exit, but gets it under control.
Boy, Wyatt would sure like to see those guys really going at it, hammer and tong here, get a little breathing room from that fast Mercedes.
Oh, Prieto gonna, ooh, wow. Prieto takes a look on the inside, but not gonna be able to get it done, I don't think. Moses, did he cook it? Nope, Prieto did, however. Wow. Taking a look back up front for the battle for the lead. Has tightened up as Alex White has closed the gap on Canola.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, Al. You know, we didn't see Alex White duck into the server to run too many laps during the week of practice, so he might have been playing this one pretty cagey, really trying to prove his speed and not let anybody know exactly where he's going to be at.
These guys make their way up the hill. Take a look further back. Wyatt Gooden has gapped Moses a little bit now, as Moses has a little bit of space between himself and Prieto. Meanwhile, Prieto and Monroy, those guys are about a little under a second apart. Joe LaCour running 8th. Montgomery Jr. still doing well there in the 9th position. And Mikey Monahan, that battle for 8th is still pretty tight. Mayfield and Schubeck. Schubeck driving pretty well with John Houston on his tail.
Yeah, David Rowley was in that battle as well until about half a lap ago or 3/4 or so. Clipped the wall and has dropped off that pace.
Hey, you give Mayfield credit. His first run here at NAGP, and he's looking good. His car's no dents, no nothing. Looking sharp. Running clean laps.
Yeah, slipped back through the field a little bit on that start, but has managed to pick up a few positions in front as guys ran into some trouble.
Joe LaCour into the chase. He's able to hang. Ooh, as Montgomery got a bit of a run on him on exit, but Joe LaCour is going to hang on to him. Ooh. Someone dropped. Not sure who that was.
Yep, I missed it out.
So Schubeck's actually closed the gap a little bit on Mayfield. So this is a good battle for that 11th spot. Rally 14th. Jaime Moore is 15th. Let's go further back as Greatrix putting in a great drive here in the points. Ryan Story in 17th. He's getting hounded by Rodrigo Triana, and Mascarelli in 19th. Palacio back in 20th, and Matt Taylor looking sharp in 21st in that Viper, as Greg Myers running in 22nd. Greg Myers started pretty much at the back, as is typical for Greg, manages to work his way up through the field and find himself in the points week after week. I don't know how he does it, but he does it well. Phil Hook's 23rd. Dan Wilkerson is running in the 24th position. Roman Noodles checking in. Rich Roman on the broadcast, in the chat. Gup Douglas.
Thanks for tuning in, Rich.
Gup Douglas and Christian Hamilton battling for that 26th position. Hamilton, not sure what happened to him at the start, but he found himself in the back. Krishna Khalili in 27. Big battle up here between Chris Jackson, Ken Rodriguez, John Cuppert, and I think Johnny Lugnuts might be a lap down. Scott Andrew in the Nissan. This might be the first running of the Nissan here in GT2. So Scott Andrew running back in 31st. So nice to see that car on track. Mike Trussler, ooh, that vet not looking so sharp there, back in 32nd. Yeah, Lugnut's back in 33rd, lap down. And Felipe Kevin Miller out of the race. So back up front, there's battle for the lead between White and Canola. Now here's what I think's going to happen, Brad.
What do you got, Al?
Canola's going to come into pit. White's going to stay out, throw down some fast laps, pit, and come out ahead of Canola.
Well, it's a possibility. I tell you what's been happening. Tiago Canola actually did turn a best lap of a 2:06.2, and Alex White actually momentarily slipped off the pace, and last lap actually took a dinger off the wall in the Dippa. However, has got back on pace, and then he turned an 0.62 to turn in the fastest lap of the race so far. But the guy that's impressing me so far is Marty Urin. Now, he has slipped off about a half second over the last couple laps, but he has hung in with these guys pretty well, I would say. And looking pretty sharp, all things considered, Marty Urin.
Marty does, this is a good track for Marty. He usually does pretty well here. So I'm not surprised to see him running where he is. Great job by him to get out ahead of Gooden, who had a great hole shot and split Prato and Uran, and went into that turn one in third. But Marty managed to get that position back.
And I've been watching the Battle Royale at the front, and I failed to notice Chris Moses actually is now running in 7th place, so Chris Moses has had some problem out there. Andres Prieto now to 5th.
Yeah, Prado and Monroy 5th and 6th, as those two guys both get by Moses. So Moses might have taken an off-track excursion at some point and allowed those two guys to get by.
Yeah, and as I watch now, I just saw Ian Jolicoeur down in the 10th spot, but through the chase, Mike Monahan went off track. Ian Jolicoeur reclaims the 9th position. So Ian in 9th, Mike in 10th.
Oh, Salem has gotten by those guys. So Salem. Oh, it looks like Ken Rodriguez into the pit lane. Not sure. That's a premature stop for Rodriguez.
Ken, our excellent Thursday night broadcaster.
Well, Ryan Mayfield has now joined this mix between Monahan, and not too far up the track is Jolicoeur, as Schubeck and Houston doing battle here for this 12th position. We got a lap car up ahead of Ken Rodriguez. Ooh. And Schubeck nearly got into the back of him. And I caught him off guard a little bit. I'll tell you what, Schubeck and Houston, these two guys, putting in a solid run, as is Mayfield. These guys are running lockstep with each other.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a run. You have to say Houston probably has a little bit of pace there on Shubes at the moment, but Shubes is not willing to give it up, obviously. Oh.
A big hit by Houston on that outside retaining wall. But that's going to happen.
That is not going to help out the arrow.
Not at all, but that's going to happen here. Ooh, Schubeck with a big spin. Oh, he's got it back together, but tough break for Schubeck, but doesn't look like he's got a punch. Only dropped a couple positions, so he'll be all right.
Well, that's the broadcaster's curse for you right there. Tubes running a great race, but you know what? I think he's in line here still to have a decent finish. There's a very distinct possibility guys in front of him could go off.
So, ooh, Mikey takes it off track again. So let's see if Mayfield can take advantage. It looks like he might get a run on Mikey. Oh, thought better of it. Had a look.
Well, watching Ryan around this Mount Panorama circuit and some of the lap times he's been putting in, he's obviously very consistent. So that's exactly what you need. My goodness, taking a DNF, Al.
Wow.
Didn't see what happened, but that's what flipped up on timing and scoring. White Gooden out of this race.
Yeah, he's out. Yep, we missed that. Sorry. But he is out. Ooh, Canola. Big hit on the wall. That might open the door for White. Wow. Canola had a bit of a gap on Alex, but just made a little mistake there through the on the uphill portion of this track, and wow, just like that, he lost all that time he gained on White. So that lead is tightened up yet again. That battle, I should say, is tightened up once again.
Yeah, and gaining time on Alex White has been difficult to say the least. So a very impressive drive by Alex White here with all that weight on board. It's really, the second sector. He's able to get that BMW through there just so well that he's definitely staying in contact. And you're right, with that fuel and tire economy on that BMW, this is starting to become a tough ask for Thiago Canola.
So working lap 9, we should see these guys start to come in around 12, 13. It's going to be 25 lap race. Oh, it sounds like we got a spin somewhere. Not sure. I'm hearing a lot of squeaking. Oh, yep, that's Trussler going into the pit lane. So Marty Uran running quietly in third. He's got no one really behind him at all, and hasn't been able to catch up to that. Well, he's not too far off that battle out front. A couple seconds anyway. So Preto and Monroy. Well, if they finish like this, I think they'd be sure to lock up that team championship back-to-back seasons. But still early in this one. We haven't reached the halfway point of this race yet. But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
This Team Columbia has really performed well over the last 2 seasons. Monroy especially has come alive. I mean, he's got his first pole. Had a tough start there at can't recall where it was, but
well, that's been the whole difference. Yeah, absolutely, is Juan Monroy's performance. And I have to say, you know, he is faster than Andres Prieto here at this race. No doubt that's due in large part to Andres Prieto's weight. However, he's not going to battle for that position, so it's great teamwork. And that's what you have to have to win championships around here. You know, you can't just drive for yourself. You got to go ahead and give it up for the team as well. So great drive by both those guys.
So with the DNF, Chris Moses moves up to the 6th position. Montgomery Jr., though, not far off of Moses. So Montgomery really putting some laps together. I'm not sure what his... Taking a quick look at Salem's lap times. Oh, my time is a little messed up, but...
Yeah, Salem's turning extremely consistent laps in the low 07 range at the moment. Chris Moses has a couple disastrous laps, a 2:11 and a 2:10 second lap. No doubt banging off some walls or doing something out there has allowed Salem to catch right up.
Joe LaCour, Monahan, and Mayfield. Now Mayfield in the top 10, though, so these guys no change in position. Mayfield still trying to run down Mike Monahan as Houston has made up a little bit of time on these guys once he got by Schubeck. He's been able to put some pretty good laps down himself. Jaime Moore and Schubeck. Schubeck now in 13th. It looks like, ooh, as Rowley and Greatrix and Triana. Wow, what a heavy impact for Greatrix as they were approaching the chase. Oh, and Rodriguez has blown it up. So Rodriguez is going to want to get that car out of there.
Thomas Schubeck is into the pits, Al. I think we're seeing the first of our regular scheduled stops.
Wow, what a situation there for Great Tricks. Him and Triana, as they were approaching, getting by that right-hander, approaching the chase, it looks like Triana got into the back of Great Tricks, and wow, Great Tricks probably did about maybe 5 or 6 360s before he had some impact into the wall. So wow, that must have been one heck of a ride for him.
Well, taking a look at timing and scoring here right fast, it's now about a 1 second lead for Tiago Canola. He definitely has the advantage. Nearly took the fast lap back from Alex White, not quite, but I just don't know if I'm seeing enough time gap there to Alex White at the moment. So Tiago Canola, still a bit of work to do, I think, if he wants to try to edge out Alex White in the second stint.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where that... there might have been oil on the track or something. I'm not sure. After Rodriguez blew up, that Ferrari caught fire. But Great Tricks still lost a couple positions, but he's still in the points at 15th, getting hounded now by Greg Myers, who's now made it into the points. Oh, is Great Tricks now really having a hard time with that car. So he's in a tough spot.
You know, here's another battle. Oh, as Ryan Mayfield has just gotten by Mike Monahan, who has come into the pits, but Mike Monahan was starting to close on Ian Jolicoeur for the 8th spot, so I think that battle is going to be one to watch as the pit stops cycle through here.
Yeah, let's see if Mayfield, I'm not sure how long he's intends to stay out, but Mayfield can put some quick laps down. That's a big unknown, though. We're not sure how Mayfield's pit work is going to be here tonight, so...
Yeah, hard to say. No doubt they've discussed it as a team, but we'll see how that plays out in execution.
Ooh, as Jolicoeur has a big slide as his tires may be running off, but Mayfield is starting to put the pressure on Jolicoeur.
Yeah, indeed, and that was the same thing I saw. Ian Jolicoeur a little bit off the pace relative to some of those guys, now running in the mid-08 range. Ryan Mayfield there in the high 07s currently. So getting comfortable with the track and getting comfortable with racing here at NAGP.
So Tiago Canola's lead is now about 1.3 seconds. Taking a look at the timing, we're nearly at the halfway point. A couple guys have already elected to pit. Tiago's going to stay out. Working lap 12. Now 13. Track temperature is 90 degree track temp, 69 degree ambient temperature. That's a really pretty hot track considering the ambient temperature is so low.
Yeah, Ryan Mayfield now having to look on, Ian Jolicoeur actually getting through
So now nice
to the 8th position.
Just caught the end of that, so nice move by Mayfield. Gets the job done. Moses into the pit lane. Preto into the pits. Montgomery's going to stay out. The top three have stayed out, so a lot of these guys now starting to come in.
Boy, thinking about that battle up front, you know, Tiago Canola, of course, should be able to recognize the kind of strategy Tiago will be on. I'm sure he'll take this stint as deep as he can. Alex White, that is, so he should be able to recognize. It's been a couple of years since he's been around, but hopefully he'll remember the great fuel economy that BMW gets.
Palacio comes in. Yeah, quick note on Tiago. Yeah, it's been about a year and a half or so since he last raced, and pretty much left sim racing altogether. But he's come back with a new wheel, new setup. So I think he's coming to grips with his new setup, and well, it's paying off here tonight. So this is the coolest car at night. Liquid Lu's Audi. Just a cool looking front end of that R8 with the flashing blue lights.
Oh yeah. Yep, the disco. Oh, Alex White does have a moment coming through the chase. Throws it off track. He's going to give up some good 4.5 seconds now to Tiago Canola.
Wow, is Tiago staying out? So Tiago going to make it a late stop. And White making a
and I don't see why he wouldn't.
mistake.
Yeah, and I don't see why he wouldn't, Al. Okay, so here's something here. Tiago Canola now running in the 06.1 range, okay? So that's the fastest lap of the race, deep into the race, past pit stops. You know, I think Tiago Canola has planned to make a double stint of his tires this race.
So, well, I'm not sure how deep he can go in the Lambo in terms of fuel. I mean, we know that Z4 should be able to go further than the Lambo on fuel.
Absolutely, but I could tell you right now, in fact, that that's exactly what's happening. Tiago Canola was running in the low 05 range in practice, actually. So this is absolutely a double stint. You can put money on it. Tiago will need to take more fuel. Alex White won't need as much. I suspect they'll both be on double stints. But you can take that to the bank.
Well, that's why we pay you the big bucks, Brad, to join me in the broadcast booth. Because I would have never thought of that.
Well, a good rule of thumb before, he didn't have a chance in the race with Alex White, but if Tiago Canola was not a second faster than the field in general, he was double stinting.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't expect it from a car like the Lambo. Obviously, the way he drives the car, he doesn't wear out the tires as like someone like myself or somebody else might. So he's able to make them last a lot longer than other people. So that's a great job by Tiago.
Boy, well, it really is, and to run the fastest lap of the race at this point on this deep into this stint says a lot.
That is pretty amazing. So let's see what White decides to do, as a lot of the guys have already come into the pit lane. As White's going to stay out. Montgomery is staying out as well. So Montgomery has yet to flinch. And I'll tell you what, Montgomery is he better slow that down. He might get a cut track. But Montgomery just threw it off track, and he thought about pitting for a second, but decided to stay out. So I don't know if he was trying to fake Monroy into the pits, but Montgomery's staying out. Mayfield now runs in the top 5, so Mayfield has yet to pit. And Jolicoeur, I tell you what, Mayfield, once he got by Jolicoeur, has really checked out from him. So Mayfield putting in some good laps here late.
Yeah, not too surprising with that. Now, the battle I'm watching here really is the one between Marty Urin and Andres Prieto, currently over the 8th position on track. They will move up, of course, through pit stops, but Andres Prieto turning his regular magic there in the pit stops, and though he does have a lot of weight versus Marty Urin, Andres Prieto really does tend to step it up the later we go into these races. So I don't think Andres Prieto is out of a possible podium here in this race.
Watch Prieto now in the 9th position. Chris Moses in 10th. And I'll tell you what, Chris, he had a tough second half to that stint, to his first stint, but he is not far off of Prieto. It's a few seconds back.
Yeah, Chris Moses as well, always faster in the second stint for some reason, but make a few tire pressure adjustments, get settled in, and basically just kind of the will and focus takes over after those bad stints. Chris Moses typically picks it up.
So Greg Myers has stayed out. He's currently in 11th. Mike Monahan has pitted, so Mike rejoins currently in 12th. Houston. Wow, looks like Houston lost a bit of time to Monahan in the pit. So Houston at 13th. Halili driving blind in 14th. No light. Oh, he's only got the left tail light working. All the other lights are off. I wonder if the dome light is working inside that Moser. We'll find out after the race. Ooh, as Rally almost loops it. So Rally running in the 15th position. Jonathan Cuppet. I'm not sure if Jonathan is pitted, but he is in the points. And Tiago's behind him, so Tiago is going to have to let Tiago by at some point, as Palacios in 17th. Hamilton up to 18th.
Cuppet has yet to pit.
Brian Story 19th. Mascarelli's running in 20th. Tough break for Lou. He was running up into the points early on in this race, but has fallen back. So look for Lou to try and make up some ground here after the stops. Dan Wilkerson and Phil Hooks going at it here for the 22nd spot. So Phil missing the last couple races. He is back. Nice to have Phil back. And Scott Andrew running in 23rd. One guy not here tonight, Jack Ivey, on assignment, so he is not able to partake tonight. So Mike Radricks in 24th and Gup Douglas 25th. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I was just going to say that gap to Tiago Canola, or from Alex White to Tiago Canola, actually has stabilized a little bit. Tiago Canola now running a couple laps in the 07 mid-range, so that gap has stabilized a bit as we await their pit stops.
Well, we may be waiting for a long time because as Cuppet decides to bring it in, Tiago, yeah, the top two are going to stay out. They have a pretty sizable lead. Montgomery also has stayed out. He's got Monroy behind, and Monroy hasn't been able to really close that gap on Montgomery. So, and I don't believe Monroy has pitted. So,
no, Monroy is not pitted. I tell you, these guys, I think, are starting to do themselves a disservice, though, looking at some of the lap times. And Juan Monroy actually had a big mistake I could see there a couple laps ago, but I think they are starting to give up a little bit too much ground. These guys, they aren't, I wouldn't suggest that they would be in a good position to double stint here, so might be time to come in for some new shoes for those guys.
So nice slide by Brian Story going into one behind Monroy. He's able to hold on.
Yeah, dirt tracking.
So Mayfield running in the 5th position. So Mayfield, yeah, a lot of the interesting pit strategies for these guys here tonight.
Yeah, Ryan Mayfield now about a second off of his pace. That's not too bad. Monroy about the same.
Joe LaCour has stayed out. So no doubt these guys remember what what Tiago did here last race, and it looks like most of them are, or a lot of them are, using that strategy here tonight with the old double stint and fuel only.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can tell you two guys that almost certainly took tires, Marty Urin and Andres Prieto. Andres Prieto continues to pick up some time on Marty Urin. Now we're just about 3 seconds off of Marty Urin's bumper. Boy, a whole bunch of guys yet to pit, that's for sure. The top 7 have yet to pit.
You know, Marty and Andre must be wondering what the heck's going on here. How come we're still in 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th rather? Well, these guys.
Alex White in, Al. Tiago Canola too. They come in at the same time.
Wow. So this
now,
is.
It looked like Alex White might have come in first.
Well, Canola's missing. He's got some damage. Oh, fuel only for White. Let's see what's going to happen here. This is going to be a battle for the
I don't know what happened. But I think White came in first into the pits somehow. Tiago, oh, you're not taking tires. I was going to say, yeah, something must have happened to Tiago right before the pit stops, and wow. Didn't see that coming, Al.
Wow, we certainly did not. Salem is now leading this race. As White Dealing with the lapped car of Brian Story. Brian checks up.
Boy, Tiago's going to need him to get involved with all kinds of lap traffic. He wants to get back up. I can only assume that was some type of mistake for Tiago right before those pit stops, and a costly mistake, possibly it was.
Yeah, he's got some damage to the left side of his Lambo, so not sure if he got caught up with some traffic or just took it off on his own. But Tiago, wow. Well, once again,
and what a rare mistake.
Once again, White, the benefactor of other people's mistakes. It's pretty amazing the luck he's had. Not that he's needed luck, but
yeah, well, and he made one or two of his own there in that first stint, but hung on plenty fine. Certainly close enough to take over this lead. Tough ask now for Tiago Canola.
So let's keep an eye on Montgomery Jr. here now, leading this race. As these guys are required to make a stop, so they don't have to take tires. Montgomery's going to bring it in. Monroy's going to stay out.
Yep, Monroy's going to be the last of our.
Well, Mayfield
taking it deep here, and
Mayfield has yet to pit.
Yep, sorry, yeah, Mayfield too. Yeah, Mayfield, really dropping off the pace now. However, Juan Monroy is looking pretty good, still running in the low 07 range. So not too shabby, might as well take it deep.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, if he does hold some good pace, Andres Prieto is I'm wondering if Juan Monroy might not be able to jump teammate Andres in the pits.
Joe LaCour has yet to pit either, by the way. So Joe LaCour is keep taking it deep also. So Montgomery rejoins in 6th. Ooh, he joins ahead of Marty Uren. Wow. So fuel only for Salem. So this is going to be an interesting battle shaping up as this race winds down. But
absolutely.
So Salem gets out ahead of Prieto and Uren. Wow. Shocking. What a turn of events here.
Well, and I tell you, there are guys on fresh tires not too far off Salem Montgomery Jr. I suspect that these guys will all come together here in the closing laps of the race. That would be Marty Uren, Andres Prieto, Chris Moses. I think all will have a shot at this guy. But a great move nonetheless. Should be noted, Jaime Moore also has not pitted yet either.
Jaime Moore may come. Juan Monroy may, whenever he decides to pit, he could come out ahead of all those guys.
I'm seeing now the cause for Andres Prieto's lap times here. Jaime Moore is actually in the 8th position and has not pitted yet. But in any event, is holding Andres Prieto up with much better pace.
As we watch this battle now between Prieto and Moore.
Boy, these are important points on
Moore brings it
here
in
for Andres. He's got to get by. Yeah.
Joe LaCour finally comes into the pit lane. As Marty's starting to close the gap in on Salem.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mayfield continues to circulate the track here in the 3rd position. Now, what is that?
Greg Myers, that was suspension damage out.
Wow, that is a rarity. You never see that happen with Greg. Now, let's check that.
Very rare.
That gap between is 6 seconds, so no, Monroy won't, he doesn't have enough time on White. Certainly not.
No. No, but there is a possibility he could jump teammate Andres Prieto, especially getting held up.
Yeah, I find that pretty curious as to Andre's decision there to come in so much earlier than the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's a good point, Al. On this track, it's not actually, despite those long straights, not necessarily an easy place to get around somebody. So yeah, getting held up by traffic, always a possibility. Juan Monroy into the pits, Al.
So Mayfield may run it dry, but he's starting to feel the heat now from Canola in P4. So now might be a good time to bring that BMW in, as Mayfield running second on track. So Marty and Salem now going at it with Lou Mascarelli sandwiched in between. And Monroy jumps these two. So Monroy out of the pits just ahead of Salem. Wow.
Yeah, not surprising.
Unbelievable. It's a great job by Juan, and you know, you go back, you got to question that strategy by Prieto to come in so much earlier, as well as some of these other guys.
Well,
Wallace
yeah, and
is
it's
included.
2 places ahead of. Yeah, 2 places ahead of teammate Andres Prieto now, so it's not like he could just move over for the position now. He's got to stay up there and fight. Devastating turn of events for Andres.
Watching this battle between Marty and Salem Montgomery Jr. This could be interesting.
So Juan Monroy lost about 32 seconds. Ryan Mayfield, 6 seconds. That would put him somewhere around 7th or 8th. Should he pull off a decent pit stop with fuel only. If he knows that he has to come in at least once.
Marty gets a run on Salem here. Ooh,
Ryan Mayfield into the pits, Al.
Marty taking a look on the inside. Nope. Nope. He's in. Is he away?
Nope, just now stopping at his box.
Ooh.
I can't see if he's gone up on the jacks, but I think he might have. Yep, Mayfield taking tires, so he'll get caught out a bit here by that decision.
Yeah, I think that's probably just come down to experience is all. Nothing more.
Well, it's a tough call. You know, you haven't seen the track before. A lot of these guys keeping in a week of practice, keeping a close eye on their tire wear, and know that they can make it. Ryan Mayfield just a little inexperienced with that yet. I can't put that down to anything more than that. Obviously, has great speed. So, good debut, Ryan Mayfield.
Well, Mayfield may actually. There is as. Wow! Oh, Marty! Marty threw it. I think, I'm not sure what happened as Prieto gets by Salem, but I think that was, Prieto almost took it off, but I think that was a little over-ambitious move by Marty, and it sent Salem packing.
Yeah, boy, that's too bad.
Yep. Well, we've seen that before. But,
Well,
there was a lap car involved in the mix there, so I can't call that on Marty. I'm not sure, but we'd have to look at that one later. But from the looks of it, I think Salem actually got hung up maybe by that lap car, and Marty took advantage.
Well, on the bright side, both guys are still able to get out. All the wheels are still attached and everything, and that's never a given around here with contact. So at least they got that working for them.
So with a couple laps to go here, working lap 23. Alex White out front by a hefty margin now, 6.4 seconds. Monroy running in third. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Al. I was just looking at it. If Andres can find a way past Marty here late, we could have some team orders, possibly Juan Monroy giving up that spot. And third to Alex White's first place at least would limit the damage somewhat.
Well, Juan is going to have to keep Marty behind. And we all know that's no easy task. Let's take a quick rundown here before the race concludes. As we got this battle for that third final podium spot between Marty and Uren. Actually, let's hold off there, as this is really tightened up. Ooh, we got someone off track. One of the Vipers going off. Looks like he might have got tangled up with an Aston. Yeah, that ass has got some damage in the rear. Now, looks like Marty's going to get a run on Juan. Ooh, this could be a situation. Now, that Guppert's really quick down these straights. I'm shocked. Oh, Marty's going to go for it.
Al.
Marty will go for it. Yep. Nope. Not quite close enough. Ooh, as Monroy gave it up. Monroy took it too deep. Let Marty get in his head. And gave that final podium position away. So now you'll probably see Juan back off and let Andres by.
Yeah, and as we watch that battle, Mike Monahan and Ian Jolicoeur now are going at it over the 8th spot. Mike Monahan actually just picked it up coming through the chase. So Mike Monahan to 8th, Ian to 9th.
So Houston out running in the top 10 with Mayfield right behind him on fresh tires. Jaime Moore in 12th. Palacios running 13th. Hamilton 14th. Rally 15th. Halili running in the points, running 16th. So good job by Kreshnik. Story 17th. Wilkerson 18th. You got Lou and Phil Hooks going at it for that 20th spot. I'm sorry, 19th spot. Greatrix 21st. Man, Greatrix race really became unraveled when he got tied up there with, I think it was Triana. I think Ez is out of the race. That's one person who's not here. Parsons. Trussler, 22nd. Schubeck, well, I'm not sure what happened to Schubeck, but he's languishing back at 23rd. It's a shame because he had a great first stint. Cup at 24th. Cup Douglas 25th. Andrew 26th. Chris Jackson running 27th. And that's the last of your running cars. So final lap.
I don't see Juan Monroy giving up the position yet to Andres Prieto. And, I wonder if Andres would still have a shot at Alex. He's got an outside shot anyway. He still would if he finished 4th, but he can get rid of some weight if he finishes in 5th here. So Andres might be willing to give up the points, knowing that he's Alex White has to go out anyway to get rid of some weight and pack some more onto Alex White.
That's a good assessment there, Brad. And without that weight, I mean, next week's Super Pole qualifying race, you know, if Preto can come away with a couple points there and White struggle to make it into the top 3 with all that weight, that could be a factor.
And I should mention, I think we're on our last lap here. Chris Moses actually starting to hound down Ian Jolicoeur for the 8th position. So this battle, bumper to splitter.
Yeah, and right behind that, we got Mayfield and Houston duking it out. They got some lap traffic up ahead, but barring any, as Moses had trying to take a look on the outside. Loses a bit of time there. We could have a wild finish here at Bathurst. On board with Mayfield as he's the trailing car behind these other 3, rather. Gotta hand it to Houston, doing a great job here, holding this guy Mayfield off.
Yeah, and as we watch that battle, Alex White has crossed the line for the win.
Oh, apologize for that. White takes the win. Canola second. Uren is gonna hang on to that 3rd spot. Here we go. This is just a... Houston with a run on Moses. Oh, and he gets by him. Moses is going to take a look on the inside. Houston... Mayfield takes it off track. Wow. Let's see if Moses has a look on the inside here in the final corner. Wow, what a great pass by Houston. He's going to hang on to that 9th spot. Moses drops down to 10th. Mayfield 11th. What a finish.
Wow.
Yeah, that battle was pretty intense. I didn't want to miss that action. Jaime Moore bringing it home. He should hang on to this 12th position. Palacio is going to finish 13th. Hamilton's going to take the 14th spot. There's a lot of these guys exiting early here. Oh, I think that's it.
Unfortunately, everybody crossed the line, so
yeah, that was it. So Alex White takes the win here at Bathurst. And Canola taking 2nd, while Marty Uren with a great drive to finish in 3rd. Wow, what a finish.
yeah, and it was pretty much the race we expected all the way. I definitely would have called for Tiago to take this one. I think with the exception of a possible mistake there right before pit stops, he would have come away with it, but Alex White ends up your victor tonight, and quite frankly, drove the best race, so he deserves it.
Now we got our race winner here in the broadcast booth. Alex, congratulations on the win here at Bathurst. Great job.
Thank you very much. Feel like I needed that win. It's been a while since I last won. I think it was Fuji and pole position as well.
Well, that was quite the battle.
That
was quite the battle you and Tiago had in the first stint. We kind of missed it. Did you pit in ahead of Tiago? I'm not sure if he had some kind of incident there.
He spun going into the pit lane entrance, and I had to sort of jump over the curbs to avoid him. So he was facing the wrong way at one point.
So that explains it. So take us
Well,
from
it
there.
was a tough.
So I'm sorry, Brad. Take us from there. You fuel only, obviously, and from that moment on, it was pretty much clear sailing.
What I did was I originally planned to change tyres, then halfway through the first stint, I was looking at my tyre wear and I was like, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I did my best to not use the tyres as much. So Tiago got a bit of a gap. And then I double stinted, so I don't think Tiago changed tyres. No, I think he did change tyres, but he wasn't able to close up the gap, which was quite good.
Yeah, and I'm wondering a little bit, Alex, if you expected Tiago to have quite the same pace, if you thought actually maybe that you might not have quite the pace Tiago would have with the weight that you had on the BMW.
Well, during the week of practice, he was, when I didn't have weight on the server, he was like about half a second to 7/10 slower than me. So with weight, that dragged me back a bit, and I got a fairly bad start, so he got ahead.
Well, Alex, certainly a great drive tonight here at Bathurst as you head to Spa next week for the Super Pole event. You're going to be carrying quite a bit more weight heading into that one. Andre's losing a bit of weight here tonight. Well, how do you feel going into that race?
Quite good. Have you guys worked out the championship at all yet?
It's still early. Got to give us a chance.
Fair enough. I think Andres finished 5th. I think. So that gives me 20. This is just guesswork, but about a 24-point lead. There is 28 points available at Spa, so if I finish, I should be good.
Yep, we'll work all that out and get everybody caught up as the final results come in.
Well,
awesome.
Congratulations, Alex, and great job tonight. Look forward to seeing you next week at Spa.
Cool, thank you very much. It was also good.
Congrats.
Well, there you have it. Alex White winning here at Bathurst tonight. And a pretty exciting night race at Bathurst. Brad, probably one of the funnest races we've seen in quite some time. A lot of action throughout the entire field.
Yeah, not too surprising with that. And I don't think in the end really too surprising about the winner. I'd say that Wyatt Gooden going out was kind of a shock. Not sure what happened there. And, of course, his teammate coming in doing a fine, Ryan Mayfield. There's the name I was looking for. He did a great job in his debut, though. It's his debut chance 2, I guess you could say, after that disconnect last week. So good job on those guys. And really all the guys that finished. It was a tough race, a night race, tough qualifying session, but a fun time all around.
Certainly was. And before we close out here tonight, next week, we'll be coming to you live from Spa for Super Pole. It's always a great event, single lap qualifying, followed by a 30-minute qualifying race. So points to be had there, but always an exciting race to watch. So thanks, Brad, for joining me here tonight, as usual. Great job. And until next week, you can catch GT1 from Road Atlanta on Thursday as John Houston and Ken Rodriguez bring you all the action from that race this coming Thursday. But if not, we'll see you next week, next Monday from Spa. Take care, everybody.